Hi, my name is Kim. I'm with Cornell Cooperative Extension. I work with the SNAP Ed program. If you're pre-registered, you should have received some handouts in your email. If you don't have them, that's fine. Just grab a pen and paper to take some notes. Some housekeeping things to start with. If you're not already muted, please do so. But I also want to practice muting and unmuting. So just go ahead and make sure you know where that is and you know how to do that. So as long as everyone's all set, we'll move on. Some of you may have already received the handouts that go along with this presentation. If you have not and would like them, we can email them to you after class. If you do not have the handouts, you may want to have a piece of paper and a pen handy to take some notes. Another Zoom function we'll be using during the presentation is the chat box. So you can feel free to use chat box, or you can unmute yourself when we ask questions and start to talk about some of the things that we're learning. We will also be participating in Zoom polls. These will pop up on your screen throughout the presentation, and you have an opportunity to pick an answer. Just remember to scroll all the way to the bottom and hit submit once you're done. And we're going to start that off right now, just to get you guys thinking about our lesson. I'm going to launch this poll. And like I said, once you're finished, just scroll down to the bottom and hit finish so I can see that everybody did it. All right. Everyone's all set here. So you can see we all take some measures to stay on budget when shopping already. But for this lesson, we're going to look into that in more detail and how to budget and still make healthy choices. We all want to save time, save money, and eat healthy. So in today's workshop from Eating Healthy, Be Active, we'll be talking about eating healthy on a budget. At the end of the session, you'll be able to identify 3 steps for healthy eating on a budget. Plan, purchase, and prepare will help you make every bite count. I want to start by opening this up and everyone can unmute, but let's share what you guys do right now when you're deciding what to buy at the grocery store. What kind of things go into your decision?
What's on sale?
That's great. Yep. Staying on budget.
What I have planned out for the week.
So you make a plan before you go.
Yeah.
Alex, I'm sorry, we didn't hear you.
In season.
What's in season? Okay.
I like to buy what tastes good, but I know I will eat.
All right. That's a pretty important one, definitely. So we all probably shop thinking about cost and taste and hopefully nutrition. So let's look at My Plate to start with, which we can use as a guide for making nutritious choices. As we focus on the 3 steps that you can use to eat healthy while sticking to your budget, you want to keep My Plate in mind. It's easy to build a healthy meal when you use simple, affordable foods from all the food groups. Many of you probably have seen this image before. My Plate illustrates the 5 food groups that are the building blocks for a healthy diet. Before you eat, think about what goes on your plate, in your cup, or in your bowl. It's a simple visual reminder to help us eat healthier. When we look at this picture, we are reminded that we should make half of our plate fruits and vegetables. Remember to focus on whole fruits and vary your veggies. If you're not already, you want to switch to fat-free and low-fat 1% milk options. Fat-free and low-fat options have the same amount of calcium without the fat. When choosing your grains, you want to make at least half of your grains whole grains. Make a small change by switching from refined grains to whole grains like brown rice, oatmeal, or whole wheat pasta for extra fiber and nutrients. Whole grains don't have to cost more. You just want to make sure you're comparing prices. You want to vary your protein routine by choosing between animal and plant sources. Choosing lean cuts of meat when they're on sale can help you save money. Substituting beans for meat can help you reduce fat and cost. And finally, you want to limit the extras like sodium, sugar, and saturated fat. Remember, everything we eat and drink over time matters. Eating a balanced diet that focuses on nutrient-dense foods like whole fruits, a variety of vegetables, whole grains, low-fat dairy, and low-fat protein will help ensure every bite counts, which helps your body stay healthy. Now let's talk about the 3 steps to eating healthy on a budget. For step 1, we're going to plan. We'll talk about how to plan your shopping to include healthy foods in your meals. Let's consider Rodney's story. I plan what I'm going to make for dinner for the whole week. Then I make out my grocery list and never shop hungry. This way I stick to my list and don't buy pricey items on a whim. Since I have all the ingredients for my meals, I'm not tempted to order pizza or run out for fast food. Eating at home keeps me on budget and I'm eating better too. So as you guys read through that story and listen to it, what kind of things stand out to you as far as some tips that he gave us? And you can unmute and share that.
He makes a grocery list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He sticks to his list.
Right. Making the list and sticking to the list are important.
I think
Never
that's
shops
my
hungry.
hardest part.
That's your biggest challenge, Jillian, is sticking to the list once you're there.
No, I think Alex said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was saying never shop hungry. I've made that mistake.
Then you
And-
end up going and buying that like big
Yeah, and then
cookie
I don't
in the
stick to my-
bakery that looks really good. Yeah.
And then
Right,
I don't
and
stick to
then-
my list like Alex.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Those are good shares there. So let's just highlight a couple of things that we saw. He planned his week, he used a grocery list, and he made sure not to shop while he was hungry. All things that you guys recognized. He also eats at home, which keeps him on budget and healthy. When you begin your planning for the week, look for coupons to help you decide on low-cost meals. When using coupons, make sure you look them over well. 3 important things to look for is the expiration date, the required purchase. So you can see for this coupon, it's good for a 16-ounce bottle. You don't want to grab, say, like a 12-ounce bottle on accident and then find out at the register that you can't use this coupon because you grabbed the wrong size. You also want to look for the fine print to make sure there are no terms to watch for. So let's say you want 2 of these bottles, like maybe 2 different kinds of dressing, but in the fine prints, it says that that coupon's good for only 1 of those dressings. So you might get up to the register and find out you're only getting $1 off instead of 2. If you do that enough, that can add up and break your budget. Another tip when planning is to read through the store flyer. Take note of what is featured and on sale that week. Oftentimes your meat will be the most expensive item. So once you know what's on sale, you can make smarter decisions on planning your meals. Plan your meals around the sale items and coupons that you find. Using a weekly meal plan is a great way to save money, save time, and eat healthy. You should have received these 2 documents to help you make a meal plan and grocery list, which is what Rodney used to stay on budget. Let's practice a day's worth of meals. If you don't have the handouts that I sent you, you can use a piece of paper or just follow along on the screen. All right, so we're going to start with Tuesday. Who can share with me a breakfast that they enjoy eating often?
I like to have plain yogurt with fresh fruit like blueberries and some honey.
And what?
Some honey.
Okay. All right, and how about somebody that can share with me their lunch? What's a favorite lunch they have?
I like tuna sandwiches.
Okay, so tuna bread, and what do you put on your sandwiches?
I can put lettuce on it sometimes.
Okay, And then do you put mayo in there or any other
Yep,
kind of
mayo.
dressing? Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes one of the small bags of chips.
Okay. All right. And how about a dinner? Can anyone share a dinner that you have often that we might want for Tuesday night?
We have taco bowls.
Okay. And what do you use for your taco bowl?
We normally do like black beans, some tomatoes, some lettuce, some cheese. We normally do like tortilla chips instead of like taco shells, and then either brown rice or quinoa.
Okay. All right, so you see we have our plan for the day. Now we're gonna move over and start filling in our shopping list here. So just looking for fruit, I see some fruit for breakfast. I think Crystal said blueberries. Or maybe we're gonna be looking for, what's in season or what was on sale, whatever fruit we found when we were planning things out. And I think that's the only thing for fruit that we have. For dairy, we have some yogurt. Anyone else see a dairy?
Cheese for tacos.
Cheese for dinner.
Cheese. Oops. Okay. How about for protein foods? What kind of protein food do you guys see?
Tuna.
Black beans.
Black beans, yep. Beans are actually a vegetable or a fruit. You usually would find those with the vegetables, so I'm gonna actually not put those there, and we'll put those in with the vegetables instead. Because they can fall under both categories. Okay, so let's look at grains. What do you guys see for grains?
Bread.
Okay, and a good choice would maybe be some whole wheat bread for our tuna sandwich. Anything else?
Tortilla chips.
Okay.
And brown rice.
And brown rice. So how about for vegetables? I see lettuce under lunch. Anyone else?
You said the black beans.
Yep, black beans are usually gonna find with the vegetables. They are protein for that dish, but you'll find them in the vegetable aisle. Tomato, right? Yep. Like everything. I think I did. Okay, so other are things that you're not going to find in those typical aisles where your produce and your dairy and protein are. So I would actually say the tortilla chips, if you're not going to be getting the taco shells probably would be a better choice and just fry them up yourself. But if you get the tortilla chips, those would actually move into other. We'll talk about that a little bit once we're finished here. I can't get that out now. Okay. What other items do you guys see? Something that's not listed yet?
The honey.
Mhm.
Mayo.
Mayo, yep. Maybe we want to make sure if we do use mayo, some light mayo or some yogurt would also be a good option for this one. Instead of getting mayo.
I don't know about that.
For some people it would work and some people it wouldn't, but it might be worth a try just to see if it does.
I like
Some-
hot sauce on my tuna sandwiches.
Ah, okay, we'll add some hot sauce. Okay, so I think we've got everything here. So you guys can see we have this list. Now, the next thing that you want to do once you have your plan for the grocery store is look through your pantry and freezer, your cupboards. Make sure you're not buying something you already have. You might already have a big thing of hot sauce. You might already have some light mayo in your refrigerator. So make sure you're not buying stuff. If you have a can of black beans already, you don't need to buy them that week. Unless you find that they're on sale or something like that, then you might want to buy them for future use. All right, does anyone have any questions about this? Okay. All right. Close this. Okay, so once you have your list and you're at the grocery store, you want to think about how grocery stores are laid out. So generally, you're going to find that produce aisle is down one end, and that goes along the back. And then once you get to the back, you have most of your meat is going to be lined up around the back. And then on the opposite end, you'll have dairy, eggs, and juice. And then in between, you may need things like baking goods or grains and pasta, maybe some cereals or canned and frozen goods. But you want to stay out of aisles that are not on your list to avoid temptation. There are usually aisles that are specific to soft drinks, sugary snacks, cookies, and chips. So if you can find alternatives to things like tortilla chips or the chips for lunch, those are the best way to do it. That way you stay out of these aisles that are going to have more temptation in them. Then they're better choices for you. Okay, so let's review how we plan things through. You want to plan meals and snacks for the week. Look and see what you have on hand that you can use while planning and write them on your planner. Find quick and easy recipes online at snaped.org or My Plate Kitchen, and I'll add those to the chat at the end. You want to check for sales and coupons online in your store or in your newspaper when you're deciding on meals. And make a grocery list. Make sure you've checked your pantry and freezer so you're not unnecessarily buying extras. Remember while you're planning out your meals to make every bite count. And keep My Plate in mind and choose foods from all 5 of the food groups. You can take some extra steps too. Include meals that will stretch expensive food items. For instance, when you're planning out things with animal meats, those tend to be the most expensive. So things like a stew or a casserole is an easy way to stretch out that expensive item over a few meals. And if you make a big dish of it and it doesn't make sense maybe to eat it all that week, they're easy to freeze too. So you'll have them on hand and ready for a meal later. You want to use store rewards card if you can. You can usually order those online or stop by the customer service desk for one. If you have time, check out some local ethnic stores, farmers markets, wholesale clubs, and dollar stores. You may find better deals than at a traditional grocery store. For step 2, we're going to look at purchase. We'll look at how to shop to get the most value for your money. Let's see what Carla did. I buy fresh fruits and vegetables in season to save money. If I want berries in the winter, I buy the frozen kind. If I see a good price on chicken breasts, I buy several packs on sale and freeze them to use later in the month. So again, I'm going to ask you guys to unmute and just tell me a couple of tips that you find out of Carla's story. Excuse me, Carla's story.
Buys in season.
Buys in bulk.
Yeah. So like you guys said, she bought the produce that was in season. If it wasn't in season, she looked at the frozen kind to save money. She saw the chicken breasts on sale, so she bought several packs and stuck it in her freezer. So to start with, let's think about common items you purchase every week. Which do you guys prefer, store brands or name brands? Take a second to think about stuff that you buy and what do you generally get, store brands or name brands?
Get a mix of both.
Yeah, okay.
I do
Just a
mostly store
couple
brand.
items I have to get name brand, but I'll try store brand first.
Okay. So you buy store brand and maybe try different brands to see what you like best. Okay, well, buying store brands can save you money without sacrificing on taste. If there's a name brand that you always go for when you're shopping, think to yourself about why you always buy that brand. Is it advertising that caught your eye? Is it because that's what your parents always bought, so now that's what you get? Or is it the packaging, maybe some nice packaging that catches your eye? And then I want you to compare prices with the name brand. And if the store brand is a little less expensive, for just that day, try out the store brand and see if that can save you money. You may find that buying store brands can save you money without sacrificing taste. Now let's talk about unit pricing. Unit pricing is the cost per unit. Unit pricing is often listed on the shelf below the item. And the unit price only compares price, not quality. If two products are otherwise the same, the unit price tells which one is cheaper. So let's take a closer look. At first glance, the top yogurt may look more pricey based on the retail price, but let's look at the breakdown. The top unit price label shows us that it's a 32-ounce container. The retail price you pay is $1.62. To get the unit price, they took $1.62 and divided it by 32 ounces. The unit price listed is 5 cents an ounce. The bottom yogurt is a 6-ounce container, and you pay 72 cents. The unit price is 12 cents per ounce. The unit price can help you compare prices of different size packages like these yogurts. If we look at the unit price for each item, you can see it's cheaper per ounce for the 32-ounce container. Using the unit price is great for quick comparison. This is also a great example of how buying in bulk can help you save money. You would need to buy 5 1/3 small containers to get the same amount of yogurt in the large container. If we do the math, the smaller container would cost you $3.84. If you eat yogurt daily, it saves you $2.22 when you buy the larger container. And that's just for one food on your list. Of course, if you don't think you'll be using the item before the expiration date, it might not be the best option. Think about buying in bulk for shelf-stable and frozen foods, which will stay fresh longer. Next, let's consider what to think about when buying produce. Like Carla said in her story, produce is less expensive when it's in season. Check out your local farmer's market for good deals and be sure to look through our handouts to find fruit and vegetables that are low cost year round to help make the best decisions. To save money, go for frozen produce when it's not in season. Just avoid getting products with pre-made sauces. They're often high in fat and sodium. You can also try canned options. Just look for low sodium vegetable and bean options and make sure that you rinse them well. If you get canned fruit or fruit cups, make sure it's packed in 100% juice or water. Both frozen and canned are packaged at peak freshness, so they're just as good for you. Now we'll review step 2. Use store brands to save on money without sacrificing taste. Do this by comparing the unit price. You should also compare unit price to sales and coupons so you get the best deal. If you have storage, buying in bulk can bring down the price per unit, or you can load up when you find a sale. Especially meat is usually the most expensive item on your list, so bulking up on sales is a good option. If produce is not in season, buy frozen or canned to save money. Remember, the goal of this step is to shop to get the most value out of your budget. Some other things to consider is you want to make sure that you stick to your list. Remember to stay out of those aisles with items not on your list. There's no reason to go down aisles that trap you into buying extras like chips and cookies and sodas. Imagine that those aisles are closed. Be sure to bring your coupons and have your list handy. Beware convenience costs. Buying a bag of pre-cut lettuce may seem appealing, and it will save you money to wash it down, or it'll save you money to wash it and cut it at home. Don't go to the store hungry. You may go over budget and buy less healthy items. We're now on our final step. Step 3 is about preparing low-cost meals. This time we're going to consider Padma's story. She's sick of the same old thing and wasting leftovers. So let's see what she did. Stretch your food dollars by making a second meal from leftovers. Just add items you already have in your pantry. I took last night's leftover baked chicken and cut it into small pieces. Then added canned black beans, a chopped onion, 2 cloves of garlic, spices, and some chopped tomatoes. I made a low-cost, tasty meal in 15 minutes. And my family got a healthier dinner. She did a great job by making some extra chicken the night before and mixing in what she already had. A great way to throw together a quick meal on a busy night. I like to call this a planned over. Remember, you want to cook way up time. So cook large portions like Padma did ahead of time. So on a busy night, you can try making a quick second meal or a side dish using leftovers. Does anybody do this now? You guys can unmute if you do this in your planning. If you make a large batch of something one night and then you can make something quick the next night. Is there anything you regularly do?
I do it a lot with chili. It freezes really well, so I'll usually make a double batch and freeze what we don't eat.
Okay.
I make a lot of brown rice ahead of time.
Brown rice is a big one for me too. I make a big thing of it when I make it. And you can stick it in the refrigerator for the next night, or you can freeze it so that you've got it next time. Anyone else? Another thing that I do is we have a quesadilla night sometimes or a stir fry night, just to take everything that might be left over from the week, usually on Thursday or Friday. Some vegetables that are already cut up, some meat that, you have that one chicken breast left or something like that. And you can just throw it into a quesadilla or a burrito or a stir fry or something like that real quick. And that uses up the leftovers, so you don't have any waste. Here's some other ideas. You can use leftover chicken or turkey to make soups, stews, and casseroles. Use leftover brown rice in a stir fry. Or use leftover fruits in oatmeal or mixed in plain non-fat yogurt. Another low-cost quick meal is use leftover cooked or raw veggies and an omelet with low-fat cheese. Or try no-cook meals like a sandwich or wrap with veggies or a simple salad with leftover chicken. Now, we talked about those black beans earlier, where we had them under both protein and then moved them into vegetables. So the taco bowl, we use the beans as a protein. And beans are one of my personal favorite ways to stretch your dollar. You can use beans, peas, and lentils instead of cooking with meat for a less costly meal, like we did with the taco bowl that we talked about. They're an excellent source of plant protein, and they also provide other nutrients such as iron and zinc. They're also an excellent source of dietary fiber and nutrients such as folate and potassium, which makes them a part of the vegetable group as well. Let's review step 3. Double and triple recipes and freeze them. Create meals out of leftovers. Try no-cook meals like sandwiches, wraps, and salads. Try meals with beans, peas, and lentils. And remember to cook way up time. So when your schedule gets busy, you're prepared with healthy, low-cost options. So just looking at this list and some of the things we talked about, which of these time-saving tips do you guys feel like you could add into your routine starting today? Is there one that stands out to you?
No cook meals.
Yeah, no cook meals is a good one. Just take a whole wheat tortilla, whatever maybe vegetables you might have, and some protein or beans, and roll it up in a wrap or something like that. It doesn't take much time. Anyone else have an idea of something they're not currently doing that maybe they could add real quick?
I feel like making soup would be easy at the end of the week too, with all the leftover veggies and meat and just mixing it all together.
Yeah, just put it in with a broth. Yep, that's a great idea. All right. Oops. We're just going to watch a quick video that reviews everything that we just talked about. And then we're going to review physical activity real quick before we finish up.
Tomas and I have found some cost-cutting ways to eat healthy and not ruin our budget. And you can too. Watch this video to learn tips to help you pick and prepare healthy foods without breaking the bank.
We're working on saving up for a family vacation, so to save money, we always plan ahead before grocery shopping. We flip through the store flyer that comes in the mail and circle the sale items. Then we make our shopping list and stick to it in the store. That way we're not tempted to buy items on impulse and off our budget.
To get the most value for our money, we buy fruits and vegetables in season. If we want something out of season, like berries or green beans, we buy the frozen kind. They're as good for you as fresh ones and can cost a lot less.
And instead of buying pricier single servings, we buy value packs on sale. We eat some now and freeze smaller packs for later. Saves money. We go meatless a few meals a week. Beans or lentils with brown rice served with a side of vegetables, or a veggie omelet with a salad. My family eats well and my piggy bank is much fuller.
Try our budget stretching tips. Buy sale items and shop with a list. Buy frozen. Buy in bulk. Repackage in smaller packages. And go meatless 1 or more days a week. Good for you foods at a good savings.
For more information, go to www.health.gov/dietary guidelines. This presentation was brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
All right. Before we move on, does anyone have questions on the 3 steps or anything in that video? Okay, we're going to talk real quick about tying healthy eating and physical activity before we finish up. Being healthy includes eating healthy and physical activity. The physical activity guidelines for Americans recommends that everyone engage in regular physical activity for health benefits. Adults should aim for 2 hours and 30 minutes of moderate activity per week. It doesn't take an expensive gym membership or fancy equipment. Moderate activities are things like walking briskly, biking on flat ground, or you can try taking the dog for a walk instead of letting it out the back door. If you can't get outside, try things like dancing, picking up the pace when you're cleaning your house, or gardening in your backyard, or find a community garden. You can tell if an activity is moderate for you based on how you feel when you're doing it. Whatever you choose that day, you should notice that your heart rate increases slightly, that you're breathing faster, and you may break a sweat. You can break it up throughout the day doing different activities. Just try to do at least 10 minutes at a time. If you choose to do vigorous activities, do at least 1 hour and 15 minutes a week. Examples of vigorous activities are sports that keep you engaged and moving. You can even look for local rec leagues if you want to join a team. You can try running or swimming laps. Public pools usually have open swim times that are indoors even during the winter time. If you can't get out, check for free workouts on YouTube or find some space to do some jump rope. Vigorous activities will make your heart rate increase much faster. You'll be breathing very hard and sweating a lot. To help reach your weekly goals, do things like using the stairs instead of the elevator or parking far enough away to get a brisk walk into the grocery store. And that'll help you reach your goals by the end of the week. If you decide to mix it up, keep in mind that 2 minutes of moderate activity will be equal to 1 minute of vigorous activity. Are any of the activities that I just listed something that you guys already do? Walking or gardening or more vigorous activities?
I always try to take the stairs over the elevator when I can.
It's a good option.
I go biking a lot.
Okay.
In the summer, my boyfriend and I, we do sport leagues at one of the local parks. So we do like kickball and flag football in the fall and stuff like that.
Those are good ways to stay in shape and help you socialize too. So you guys shared a good mix of moderate and vigorous activities. And just remember, it doesn't need to be expensive or anything fancy. Small changes can make a big difference, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to stay physically active. In addition to working your lungs and your heart, it's also important for adults to engage in muscle strengthening activities at least 2 days a week. Choose activities that work all different parts of your body: the legs, hips, back, chest, stomach, shoulders, and arms. You don't have to break your bank with equipment. You can use your own body weight or inexpensive bands to build and maintain strength. Children should be encouraged to get their heart rates up for 1 hour every day and do muscle and bone strengthening exercise that involves climbing and jumping at least 3 days a week. Does anyone have questions about physical activity at this point? Okay. So while you're being physically active, it's important to stay hydrated. And to continue our discussion on ways to save money, choose water. It's free and the best beverage choice for your overall health. That's both when you're being physically active and in your everyday life. Now that we've reviewed the 3 steps to eating healthy on a budget, we're going to set some goals. I'm going to pull up another poll that'll give you options to start today from each step. And remember, it's okay to start small. Think of at least one thing you can do this week to get started. Then as time goes on, you can add more goals to your weekly planning. So I'm going to pull these up for you now. And just remember, again, scroll all the way to the bottom and hit submit when you're finished. All right, let's take a look at what everyone said. Sales and coupons is a good one. That's the most popular, but planning your meals and making a grocery list are really important too. It's like avoiding convenience costs. That's a good one. And comparing unit pricing. You can also stock up on produce when it's in season and then freeze it. So you've got some in your freezer. That's another good option for the produce section there. And use leftovers to make a new meal. All right, those are great goals to set. Does anyone have any questions? Comments? Okay. So that concludes our presentation. Be sure to connect with us at snapedny.org. This presentation is sponsored by the USDA, which is an equal opportunity employer. For more information, you can go to usda.gov, or you can connect with us locally at albany.cce.cornell.edu.